Jugulator. Wow, look at you, just trying to stretch out the vocals there with our good friend Tim the Ripper Owens from the Jugulator release. That is the title track.
Good stuff.
What made you think of that?
I don't know. Just wanted to hear it. You know, I wanted to hear. You were playing a lot of mellow, mid-tempo stuff. I was like, let's pick this shit up a little bit.
All right, you want to bang your head.
Just a little bit. I need some energy.
All right, I can dig that.
So that's why I went with the Jugulator. Since you were playing Priest anyway, let's go double shot and make it a little heavier.
Sure, absolutely. Well, speaking of banging your head,
yes,
you have made it easier for the fans to bang their head to the classic metal show CMS Radio Network.
I have.
If you are hip to the Roku, which I love.
Yeah, me too.
I spend more. Me and the Roku are having an affair at the moment.
Right. If the port was a little bigger, you'd fuck it.
Well, you're going to make me laugh here.
Dude, you're as sick as I am, aren't you? This is
no, it's just that I have this irritation right at the base of my throat, and every time I start talking, it tickles my throat, and I just want to cough.
Oh.
So anyway, you made an app for the Roku.
I did.
Which I downloaded this week, and just pull it up on the big screen, and not that there's much to see, but nevertheless, it comes through the Bose system, and it sounds awesome.
It does sound pretty damn good, doesn't it?
Now, did you do anything to the audio? I mean, is there any way that you tweak the audio, or is that just a direct stream from the streaming service?
That is a direct stream from the streaming service. The only thing I did was I set it within the, I don't want to get into the whole technical of it, but I set it to max volume in the system itself, in the programming.
Right.
That's the only tweak that I did on it, was set it so that when it plays at full blast for the Roku itself.
Right.
That's the only thing that I did with it, but the rest of it is all the way it sounds. But it sounds kick ass on the TV, doesn't it?
It does. I have my speaker system is the Bose sound dock that I use for my iPod, but I have it wired into the big screen.
Okay.
So I listen to it through the Bose system, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's real cool, and eventually I'm going to figure out how to set us up so that I can have the CMS mascot Rex as the screensaver instead of the word Roku.
Right.
But I haven't quite figured out which button I got to turn on yet for that, so that will be coming. And then I'm also working on setting it up so that we can have two play buttons.
Okay.
One that'll be the 24/7 station, and the other which will be like a playback of the show each week, so that if you just want to hear last week's show and you don't want to listen to the music 24/7, you can just go right to that and listen.
Right.
Listen live.
So it would be just a playback button just for the one show.
Right, exactly. There'd be two play buttons, one for the 24/7 and one for the last week's episode or whatever.
Sure. Well, that sounds you and your technical stuff.
Well, I had a lot of time this week while I laid in bed in near death.
Well, but the thing is when you're sick like that, sometimes you just don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah, but you know me better than that. I can't just lay there and just watch television. Especially when I can be programming it.
Sure.
So.
Now, speaking of, TV and stuff, we were really hyped last year about the whole heavy metal television, and, do you have any updates on that at all as to what Mr. Braverman and his group are doing?
I talked or emailed back and forth with EB about a month ago, and he was all hyped up about us still doing our thing and blah, 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 and he asked me to send him my phone number for the 9,400,360th time so that he could give me a call so we could go over some specifics and some tech and some blah, blah, blah. And I sent him the phone number, and I haven't heard from him. And I tried to call him one day, and, I didn't get, Eric, of course, doesn't have a voicemail on his phone. So it just rang and rang. So, so I have not talked to Eric in the last month. So, I watch it from time to time, and it looks, you know this, but everybody else doesn't know this. I had actually said that I would build them a channel if they would give for the Roku,
Right.
if they would give me the the stream information.
Sure.
And then when I went and looked it up, they actually have a channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it doesn't work.
Okay.
It has the logo and stuff, but then when you try to make it play, it just says this channel has been deactivated.
All right.
So I don't know why or anything, and I'd love to ask him why, because I could probably help him if they were having a programming problem. That's one area that I think I've proven that I can help.
Sure.
So, I would like to have that as a channel, because I do watch it from time to time.
Right.
And the programming is really fucking good, but they're not getting it out there enough.
Well, do you, and I know you don't know the answer because obviously you told us everything you know.
Yeah.
Do you think by any chance that they've run into any kind of financial difficulty?
I don't know. I do know that, they're trying to make some money with it, but there's things I would do different than they're doing. Like, I would offer embed codes and, maybe get Blabbermouth to embed it on their site, or Brave Words or somebody like that, so
Sure.
that people will see it and they'll see it moving and they'll go, oh, what's this? Click, and start generating more traffic. But, that we could put it on our site or Pit Riff. And I'm sure guys like Maximum Threshold or Red and Jerry or the Metal Madman or whoever would probably help.
Sure.
But as of yet, I don't see them doing a whole lot of promotion outside of the occasional press release.
Yeah, you got to wonder, and I've often wondered this. You're a business guy. I'm a business guy. I never understand why people launch something way before it's really ready to be launched. And you launch it, and you get so far with it, and then it dies on the vine because you didn't have a plan to, continually, what's the word I'm looking for? Roll this thing out to its full potential.
Sure. Yeah, I don't. I don't know why they did that. That's what they chose to do, and maybe it's unforeseen problems too. Maybe these were things that they didn't anticipate. Sure. I don't know, but I know this. It loads. It plays real clean, and I enjoy watching it. I do watch it on my. A lot of times I'll throw it up on the Mac if I'm in the office here working on my laptop. That way I can just have it playing, on another thing. But I think, and especially now that I've actually done some development with the Roku app, there's no reason they can't have it on the Roku.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's so simple to do. And if they could build it for the Roku, I'm pretty positive they could build it and offer it in the download stores for all these, like the Blu-ray players that have apps and shit on it. There's no question they could.
Right.
So, but again, who knows, man? I mean, maybe they put it out early so that they could get an investor. I don't know.
Why, when Eric was on the show talking about the launching of this thing, he was all excited that he had the investors that were ready to put the money up and do what they had to do and get the servers going and get ready to launch the thing, which obviously they did, but then that's where it ended. Yeah,
it did. And I mean, we could pick it apart forever. I personally would like to see a couple of shows here and there. Doesn't have to be our show necessarily, but they should have some shows, maybe Talking Metal. Those guys probably looking for a new gig. They're quality.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Since Fuse, gave them a fair shot.
Yeah, well, maybe they still have that desk from the Fuse days.
Right.
They still use that or something.
We know Bud Friendly. He needs a gig, too.
Yeah, and he's certainly scary talented.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of talent out there just waiting for their next gig. So who knows, man? That could happen.
And now, Mark and John.
Mark and John. I'm Bud Friendly.
It's Talking Metal on the Roku heavy metal television. Now here's Mark and John.
Two douchebags, one bloody tampon.
Right.
It's Mark and John.
Nice. Yeah, we don't need Bud Friendly. We can both do that.
We can do it for him.
Sure.
I'm not Bud Friendly, and I can talk just as gay.
Right. Nice.
Let me answer one from the chat room real quick. Am I going to do another sports talk show like I did last Monday night with Billy Morris? Well, it wasn't really a sports talk show. I think we did one segment of sports. Yes, there is more coming on that. It's because of my issues with my dad 2 weeks ago and last week and my health this week, there hasn't been anything recorded for a second demo. That's coming, and there's actually some talk about we might do something internet-wise for a couple of months just to get our chops a little better. Because I personally, I think you listened to it, didn't you?
I listened to the whole thing.
Did you like it, or did you not
well,
like it?
I liked it. I liked the sound quality, but it wasn't compelling enough to go, man, I'm going to tune in as soon as I get another one loaded.
See, that's what I thought, too.
And that's no bag on you or Billy or John or anything. It's just that, okay, where's the content here?
Yeah, it was a demo, so it was
I get it. I mean, I'm not trying to be too harsh or critical.
Right, it's all good. But, you know, it was very clear to me after listening to it that while we have some decent chemistry, it was very choppy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wouldn't submit that to a station.
Right.
Not yet. I would, work on it. So we're going to do some work on it. And we've been talking about maybe doing something on the internet, maybe just right here on the CMS radio network on like Thursday nights or something, just for, an hour or two every week, just to kind of see what we can put together with that. Cause it's something I do want to do, but I don't even know I'll just say it the way it is. It's not as easy as, okay, we're all three guys that get along with each other. We can do a show. There's definitely a lot more of, where me and you, when I listen back to some of the shit that you and I did back in like 2005 or whatever, there were definitely shows where it's like, weren't clicking.
Right.
And it takes time. It does take time, and it takes a lot of feel and a lot of play. Like, people don't realize the little subtleties of this show, but you and I generally know when each other's going to talk and when each other's going to stop. And that's how, and we play off of it, instinctively now. And you have to develop that before you can be a pro at this. So I think there's a little bit of growth that has to happen before we could actually do it for real. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's my turn to talk now. Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, let me try again. Well, that's what I think. Neeley?
Back to you, Chris.
Right after these words from our sponsors.
Right.
Fucking horrible.
Look at Angel of Death. Needs more Neeley.
Well, I agree with that.
Shoot. Sure.
I do.
Well, I wasn't invited, man, so, fuck you guys.
Well, you're in another state.
So funny. So funny. Well, I'm not up on my Star Wars, so I don't know if I could blend.
I'm not up on my Star Wars either. Believe me, that's a topic that's going to suck if we ever actually do it, because I know nothing.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Never watched this episode.
You've never watched any of the movies?
Never once.
Why?
Not interested.
Are you not interested in sci-fi in general?
Yeah,
or just...
for the most part, no.
Okay. I mean, you're not like a closet Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, no.
Right?
I watched the original Star Trek.
Right.
That's as far as it went.
And okay, so you're not into any of that shit.
Not really, no.
Well, then that makes sense. I mean, what always cracks me up is when I talk to guys and they're like, "Well, they won't watch Star Trek because all they will watch is Star Wars," and it's like it's some battle.
Okay.
Shit like that makes no sense to me. Like, Battlestar Galactica or nothing, man. Like, what? It's fucking television.
Right. Well, I will tell you what I've been into lately.
All right, go ahead.
Since we're talking Roku and all.
Yeah.
I have been finding these independent films very entertaining.
Really?
These docu-films and things.
Okay.
I ran across two, and I shared a couple of them with you.
All right.
Which made me laugh.
Okay.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, I'm scanning through. I like reality, not made up reality,
right?
But real reality.
Okay.
And I ran across on the Roku. They have some of these independent films, independent documentaries, and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I ran across this one called "Shut Up, Little Man."
Okay, yeah. That was good.
And basically, the reason I liked it, not because of the content only, but because I can relate to it and doing something independent when it comes to audio recording and broadcasting and stuff, because in all intents and purposes, the Classic Metal Show has been all me.
Right.
From the beginning, I had the music, I did go to the broadcasting school, I developed the show, the longevity. When it moved to internet, obviously you had a huge part in helping me launch that, and then getting involved as my co-host. But when it came to the actual, the technology and the equipment and the development and the, sticking with it more or less.
Right, sure.
It's what we did, and you and, your equipment, I made sure you had top-of-the-line equipment.
Right.
And I had it, and sound was very important to us. And the fact that you're in Cleveland and I'm outside of Chicago here, and we do this show for the last, 8 years.
Right.
And it's as clear and clean as it is, that's just a testament to how anal we were about making sure we did this thing right. Because if this was like Blog Talk Radio,
sure,
you and I would have quit doing this 7.5 years ago or more.
Well, dude, I mean, I listened to quite a few shows that are national shows that don't have the same sound quality that we have.
Oh, I know that.
Hell, I hosted one this week. The one that I recorded. That was the first. I don't know if you saw the email that Ron sent me.
Yeah, I did.
One of the questions he asked me was, what kind of equipment do I use? Because our sound was so crisp.
Huh.
And I was like, well, it's a VMX board and it's a Radio Shack mic.
Right.
And he wrote me back. He's like, Radio Shack mic? Get the fuck out of here. I was like, dude, it has to do with your board.
Yeah.
You have to have a good quality board, and you have to have decent recording software too. And and that's what I did tell him. I was like, I'd like to know what your software is, because I'd bet anything that he's using like Audacity or some shit.
Sure, some free stuff.
Yeah, and which Ron has his own recording studio.
Yeah, I know, which surprises me that he doesn't feel he could have the better quality audio.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know for a fact I listen to his show, I listen to ours, and it's no question who has the better sound.
Well, here's something that'll surprise you, and I'll get back to my shut up little man here in a second.
Okay.
Here's something that'll surprise you.
Yeah.
Don Dokken. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I better play the bumper.
Yeah,
because
don't be saying that name out of tune, out of turn.
Right.
Hey, it's been 5 minutes, and it's time now for Neeley to talk Dokken on the Classic Metal Show.
All right. There were a couple of times over the last, 5 or 6 years that Don approached me and said, I would like to do a little something more interactive with the fans. And when he was out on tour with, I think he was like on a Poison tour or something like that.
Okay.
A few years ago. Uh-huh. And while they were recording this last Broken Bones,
yeah,
he had approached me and said, I would like to be a little more interactive with the fans. I would like to be able to record like a podcast every couple of days or once a week during the Poison tour and bring everybody up to date, what was going on, and maybe tell some stories backstage, what happened, that kind of stuff.
Right.
I've been to Total Access Studio with Don, and I've also been in his personal recording studio.
Home studio, right.
The guy sits there, can run the board, run the Pro Tools, do editing, so on and so forth.
Right.
I provided him with a copy of WaveLab, which you and I have been using for umpteen years.
Sure.
And it's very easy to use.
Easiest one on the market.
Once you know how to use it and understand it, there's nothing to recording, editing, joining audio together, doing double, triple, quadruple tracks.
Yeah, it's simple.
Nothing to it.
Yep.
It's basically drag and drop.
Pretty much.
You would not believe the difficulty Don had in understanding how this software worked and how to just plug in a mic to his laptop and record something up for a short podcast or a little message.
Really?
Yeah. Unbelievable.
So how does he want to do his podcast?
Well, he never did.
Oh, is that why? Because he couldn't figure out waveforms?
Yeah, he says, you got to show me how to do this, bro. You know, I'm not getting this.